The Highland Park Scots close out the first half of district play with a visit to the new kids on the 4A block. Good evening, everybody. Your partners in basketball obsession. Glad you've joined us for another live broadcast of Highland Park Scots varsity basketball. My name's Brian Sutcliffe. I'm joined by Coach David Clark. We come to you live tonight from the campus of North Forney High School, the home of the Falcons, playing their first ever season as a 4A program. And tonight they'll welcome David Peeler's Highland Park Scots. Both of these teams have won their last 4 games and are currently tied for third place in District 10 4A. Just a single game behind the co-leaders from West Mesquite and Newman Smith. And Coach Clark, a big one here tonight for Highland Park, not only to get the leg up against a squad they're tied against, the North Forney Falcons, but when you look ahead to next week, the second half of district's going to get started with big games against Poteet and West Mesquite. HP simply cannot afford to slip up tonight.
Exactly, and last game of the first rotation, and these two teams are kind of battling for that third spot right now the way it sits, and you know, you hate to call it an elimination game, but anytime you beat someone head-to-head, that's going to be the first tiebreaker on any kind of ties in district playoff spots. So this is a huge game. We're on their floor. They got a beautiful new school. It should be a really, really good opportunity for the Scots to keep the little momentum going and finish what they've been doing with consecutive wins.
Two teams with outstanding records. The Scotties 19-6 on the season, 4-2 in District 10 4A. Coach Andy Curtis's North Forney Falcons 16-5, also 4-2 in district play. And you've got a battle of defending coaches of the year. David Peeler, the 10 4A coach of the year of last season. Andy Curtis, the 13 3A coach of the year in the Falcons' final year in the 3A classification. Getting set to get things going. It's going to be a rowdy crowd tonight, especially after the win the JV squad put up, Coach Clark. Well done here. It was a bit of a blowout.
It was a nice win, Brian. We had a 35-0 third quarter, which was pretty nice if you can do something like that.
I don't have the stats in front of me, but I would reckon that teams that have a 35-0 quarter at any point probably have a fairly good record. Let's go down to the public address announcer for the national anthem and the introduction of the starting lineups.
That sounds great.
The Highland Park Scots are coached by David Peeler in his 7th season. He has 173 wins against only 48 defeats. That's a winning percentage of 78. Their starters at guard running the point, number 3, the Harvard man, Matt Fraschilla, the 5'10 senior. The other guard is number 10, a 6'3 junior, Matthew Kreitz. The wings are number 2, Chase Fletcher, a 6'7 senior, and number 20, Will Miller, a senior, 6'5". The post is number 52, Clayton Murtha. He's a junior, 6'5". The North Forney Falcons are coached by Andy Curtis. They are 16-5 on the season, 4-2 in district play. Their starters, the point, is number 3, Tyrell Choice. He's a 5'10 junior. The other guard is number 22, Hunter Hartley, a 5'9 junior. The forwards are number 5, Alec Harris, a 6'1 senior. Number 12, Roy Nugent, a senior, 6'1. And number 14, Michael Woods. He goes by junior. It's pretty big for a junior. He's a 6'3 senior. The Scotties in their all blues here in this one. A pivotal matchup to decide who will take sole possession of 3rd place in the District 10 4A standings on this, the final night of the first round through District 10 4A play. The Scotties will move from right to left in the first half. The first of 2 consecutive road games, as the Scots will take on North Forney tonight and then hit the road for Poteet. Next Tuesday, we'll have a look at the 10 4A standings between the first and second quarter. We're glad you're with us from wherever you may be. The Scots started 0-2 in district, as did the Falcons, but now both squads have won 4 in a row to move to 4-2, squarely in the mix for the district championship.
Scots open with man-to-man. See if we can get the rebound. Scots again, almost like last game against Forney. They've got a great advantage up top at height advantage. Let's see if they can take advantage on the boards.
Roy Nugent missed the first shot. The Scots then turned it over, and coming down to the other end was Michael Woods. He missed the shot. You can see the pace already for North Forney. This is a squad that does not shoot the ball very well. They only shoot 44% from the field, but they average 63 points per game because they get a lot of shots off,
and
Coach.
They're getting a lot of possessions, a lot of turnovers. Scots have to be real tight with the ball this game.
North Forney, a very good rebounding team, averaging 35 caroms per contest. Matthew Kreitz looks to pick up where he left off after he recorded his best game as a varsity player against Forney, a game the Scots won 76-41. Matthew Kreitz finished with 16 in that one, scored 12 in the first half.
Matthew was able to finish a lot of those shots that he hasn't been for some of his games, so it looked good. He's getting back in a groove.
The Scots scoring 57.7 points per game while yielding a paltry 46.4. That's good for number 2 in the area among all 4A squads, behind Trophy Club Byron Nelson by a mere 0.3 of a point. Alec Harris, the 13 3A offensive MVP last year when he averaged 13 points and 7 rebounds, took the ball there to at least prevent the Scots from having a clean look at the basket after the turnover. We're a minute and a half in, there's no score.
Harris was a running back on the football team. Good athlete.
Clayton Murtha found Matt Fraschilla from outside. Off the back iron rebound, Michael Woods.
Well, it looks like they're going to give Fraschilla that shot tonight. He's going to have to knock some down.
Hartley at that off-guard spot's hit 14 three-pointers on the season. He's averaging 6.3 points. Averaging 2.2 steals per game. This is a squad from North Forney that'll take the ball from you a little bit. They have 3 players that average more than 2 steals per game.
Like you said earlier, they're going to be a team that's going to get a lot of possessions. They're going to push the pace a little bit. Scott's going to force them to play some half-court offense and some half-court defense.
Matthew Kreitz forced a steal on that possession. HP looking for the first points of the game with 5:35 left in the first quarter.
Set play. We see if Will Miller gets the ball here on top. Yep.
After 12 consecutive games with a made 3, Will Mill has gone goose egg in the last 2. Out to Murtha. Murtha left that baseline jumper a little short. Woods clears for the Falcons. He'll push the issue. Very wild pass, but Hunter Hartley able to pull it in. Now it's Alec Harris with the jump stop. He can't score. Miller fights with Nugent for the rebound, and here come the Scots. Fraschilla's got Kreitz in the front court. And the Harvard-bound senior captain, Matt Fraschilla, slams on the brakes. The Scots will set it up in the half court. Kreitz traveled. 4:54 left in the first. Still no score.
Sloppy beginning for both teams, really. Not really any real clear looks yet, so for either team. Good defense on both ends.
These are the only two teams in District 10 4A that rank among the league's top 4 in both offense and defense. The Scots scoring 63 points per game. That's good for third in the league. They're the district's best on defense at 48.7. North Forney scores 59 points per game. That's good for fourth in the league. Their defense third best at 53 points. Woods steps into a three off the back iron all the way out beyond the foul line for Fraschilla. Fraschilla over to Chase Fletcher and one. Scott, no, they count it. Looked like he gave the charge signal there for a minute.
He got hit in the head, I think, so they're going to count the basket. No way that was going to be a charge.
Threw us off there.
Yeah, he really did.
Chase Fletcher scoring 14.5 points per game as Derek Kahn, fresh off the bench. Number 44, the 6'5 junior, replaces Clayton Murtha. Chase Fletcher against Forney on Tuesday, 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. Fourth time this season that Chase Fletcher's had 5 or more assists in a game, and he's done it in the last 2.
A lot of those are big to big going down inside of Murtha, who also had a big game against Forney.
Clayton Murtha had quite simply the best game of his career. 16 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. Also had 2 blocks in the game. That was one under his career high in points, and he set new career highs in rebounds, assists, and tied his season high in blocks with those 2 rejections. Here's right. Woods on the tape, bowls over Chase Fletcher, and it's going the way of the Scots.
Looked like Chase might have gotten a charge call, but they're going to just say it went out of bounds. Probably a good no call right there. Let's see if the Scots run a set play. Get a good look here.
Coach David Peeler in his 7th season looking for district win number 80 against only 11 losses. North Forney clearly scouted the Scots as they were double teaming Chase there in the short corner. Kahn straight on. Woods with another rebound, and you can see the ability that this North Forney squad has. Not a squad with a ton of length, but a very good rebounding team. They really attack the glass.
They can get up. They're athletic.
Number 4, Armani Watts, who is about as good a bench player as you could hope for, averaging 12.5 points per game, as still after the miss by Roy Nugent, North Forney has failed to scratch. Number 5, Trey Garrison, the 6'4 senior, is into the game for the Scotties. He'll tee up for 3. A little bit short. Rebound, number 42, Jabari O'Toole, a 6'3 senior, as we've seen some substitutions on both sides.
It's like the Falcons are backing off the Scots at the three-point line.
That is a charge.
That one, he got that one. Scots need to have somebody get a hot hand here and knock down an outside shot, because they're just giving the Falcons are just giving the Scots a three-pointer.
Chase Fletcher took 2 charges in the win over Forney on Tuesday, just drew his 36th of the year. Scots lead it 2-0. We are over 5 minutes into the first. There's Will Mill, that's his spot. Missed it to the left. Weak side board, Chase Fletcher pumps, had it stripped out. Last touch by Tyrell Choice, the point guard for North Forney, who also leads the team in blocks at 1 per game.
That'll show you what kind of athlete.
Somewhat unusual.
He can jump. He's athletic as he can be. And they're sagging inside. Derek's got an outside look. Couldn't hit it.
Missed that one to left. Another rebound for Michael Woods. Woods will let his teammate set up in the front court. Battle with Will Miller with 2:33 left. There's Choice. He'll float it up. That's short. Rebound, Matt Fraschilla. Miller got it.
You don't want a shooter to ever stop shooting, and Will just, without hesitation, turned and knocked in a 3. And that's a big shot for the Scots and for Will's confidence, too.
His 45th made three-pointer of the season. That pulls him even with the rest of the team, who has hit 45 three-pointers to date.
That's an impressive stat right there. He is the outside game for the Scots right now.
HP leads it 5-0. At the risk of jinxing things, as we look up, the Scots did shut a team out in a quarter last year when the Scots played Burke Burnett. And just as I say that, they're going to get an easy basket. There it is. That's on me, boys. Scots lead is 3, 5-2. Fraschilla, the DFW area's leader in assists, just picked up another one.
Trey Garrison now, if he can get going from that same spot that Will Miller just hit from, so maybe we ought to run to that spot on the floor and just keep knocking down threes.
Trey has 2 of his 3 best scoring games of the year in his last 3. He's starting to pick it up on the offensive end and just rain through his 14th triple of the season. Give the assist to Matt Fraschilla, who coming into the game just 62 away for 500 for his career. He leads all players in all classes in the DFW area in assists at 8.6 per game.
That's an impressive number when you get those kind of numbers.
He's Fraschilla trying to find Chase on the run out, but it was intercepted by Tyrell Choice. 41 seconds left. Scots lead at 8-2. Woods left side 3.
Got Trey for fouling a three-point shooter. Hate to see that. He did a hard closeout and just wasn't quite under control.
Michael Woods coming off his season high 21 points against Terrell on Tuesday, a game won by North Forney 56-35. He's a 59% free throw shooter, but he's 1 for 1 tonight.
Like Matt Fraschilla is going to get a little rest here at the end of the quarter, get the break at the quarter, and probably give him another minute or 2 on the other side. Jake's in. He's back 100% too. You know, Jake was sick a week or so ago.
Junior Woods gets all 3. So critical for the Scots to have had some blowout wins. They beat Creekview by 33, big wins over Terrell and Forney on Tuesday. Yet Chase Fletcher only had to play 20 minutes, and Matt Fraschilla only had to play 19.
And those are good.
Got to take advantage of those matchups.
Absolutely.
The Scots lead by 3, 8-5.
They may be playing for 1 here into the quarter.
Jake Stiganga, number 11, the 5'10 junior, in the game for this final possession.
Definitely are now.
Stiganga tried to kick it out. He was fouled by Roy Nugent. 3rd foul against North Forney.
Running that high ball screen, kind of an end of the quarter play that Coach Peeler likes to run, and looked like he was trying to kick it out to Trey right there in his hot spot for a 3.
4.3 seconds left.
Oh.
Stiganga into Murtha on the baseline. He'll turn, goes up under 2 defenders. The ball is swatted out by Nugent. But that's the end of the first quarter. We'll head to the second. The Highland Park Scots lead the North Forney Falcons 8-5. It's time now to take our per-game look at the District 10 4A standings, as the Scots currently find themselves in 3rd place at 4-2, tied with North Forney, just a game behind West Mesquite and Newman Smith. Newman Smith handed Poteet their 3rd loss, which the Scots certainly will appreciate, 70-60 on Tuesday. That game was decided in the first quarter as Newman Smith broke out to a 15-4 lead after the first. The Trojans able to survive 24 points from Raphael Gaines for the Pirates. The Scots will head to Poteet for their next game on Tuesday. It was North Forney over Terrell, 56-35. West Mesquite beat Creekview somewhat surprisingly, 80-73. That game was very close through the first 3 quarters. Ian Spate blew up for the Mustangs with 26 points. That long-range shooter, I bet he hit a bunch from beyond the arc to keep him in that one. And then on the slate for tonight, aside from this one, as the Scots have traveled to North Forney, you've got Creekview at Newman Smith, Terrell at West Mesquite, and Poteet at Forney. So, Coach, I think it goes without saying this is the premier matchup in the district tonight.
Sure is. And again, this you can see by looking at the standings how important this contest is. This is a key matchup, and the winner definitely has a leg up in the playoffs, but definitely has a leg up to try to win a district championship.
The 5 points allowed by the Scots just one off their season low, as they allowed only 4 to Prosper in the 5th place game of the Plano tournament. Garrison, too much hitch in the giddy up. He traveled.
It's too bad. It looked like he wanted to take the shot, and then the last minute he had an opening to drive and ends up with a turnover.
Scots in a familiar position, leading after 1. They've played 25 games coming in tonight, Coach, and they've led after the first quarter in 21 of them.
This game is played at the pace I think the Scots like right now.
HP 18-3 this year when leading. after one. Shot was missed from the perimeter by Armani Watts. And so far, what we've seen from the Falcons is pretty true to the scouting report, Coach. They take a lot of shots, they miss a lot of shots, but they get rebounds.
They go up and hit the glass hard, and that's what their game's all about.
Garrison wide open. Missed it to the right. Jabari O'Toole with the rebound. It's number 3, Matt Frischella. Number 2, Chase Fletcher. Number 20, Will Miller. Number 5, Trey Garrison. And number 52, Clayton Murtha on the floor for David Peeler's Highland Park Scots. Looking to finish the first rotation through district on a 5-game winning streak. There's Nugent with a good take. Would have counted if it gone, but instead he strides to the line.
Like Clayton got him with the body a little bit.
Second team foul against Highland Park. First on Murtha. Sends Roy Nugent to the line where he shoots 66%. As a team, North Forney shoots 62% from the line. We joked last game about the Scots leading the league in opponents with left-handers. It looks like Roy Nugent shoots with a left hand as well.
Definitely have seen a lot, and I'm trying to think if there's a single Matt Wilson is about our only lefty over there that I can think of on our side.
Matthew Kreitz into the game, as well as number 15, the JV call-up junior Evan Buechler. And, Coach, you mentioned it in the first quarter, North Forney has been content to give the Scots that outside shot. Well, they're about to see some.
Evan, if Evan's left open, he's gonna put it up. That's for sure. Got Chase one-on-one.
Nice baseline spin. Boy. Didn't look like Chase was going to hit that out of his hand.
It looked like he was in bad position below the basket, but he managed to lay it in. That was a good shot by Chase.
Well, before that one, North Forney had closed to within a point. The Scots have pushed it back to 3, 10-7, with 6:35 left in the first half. I'm Brian Sutcliffe with Coach David Clark. Got a great team bringing you this one. Roy Nugent hits his 22nd three-pointer of the season. He's got all 5 of his points here in the last minute or so, and we're tied at 10. Buechler tried to retaliate, and Alec Harris gets the rebound. North Forney with a chance at their first lead of the game. Buechler comes out to get him.
Scots came into with a 1-3-1 right now.
Works this time. Nice pass from Murtha to Buechler to Fletcher for 2.
Good pass. Good job by Evan to give the ball up. He was not in position to score from there, and saw Chase running down the left wing.
5:40 left, first half. Scots by 2, 12-10. Neither team scored the first 4 minutes or so of this game. Watts, he's got no chance right there. He looked up and saw a 6'5" and a 6'7" guy getting ready to throw the shot back in his face. Look, Buechler had Murtha right underneath. Frischella and Fletcher think about the 2-man game. Moonshot Buechler, it was halfway down.
It's a good look, again, a drive and a dish by Matt Frischella. He does that so well coming off that ball screen.
That's what Evans in there to do, get open and let it rip. And there's a push whistled against the Scots.
Not sure who they got for that. Is that?
Well, he had 2 hands up.
I thought so. It was either 15 or 10. I don't know which one he signaled, but.
It's the 3rd team foul against the Scots with exactly 5 minutes remaining in the first half. North Forney's been a bit buoyed by a 5-for-5 performance at the free throw line in the first half. Scots double up top. HP really getting after it on the perimeter. Hunter Hartley over to the corner for Nugent. Left-handed 3. That was halfway down. Rebound, Clayton Murtha.
It's like they got a lid on it on both teams here.
Murtha had his second double-double of the season in the win against Forney with the 16.12 rebound effort. There's another trap. Woods is able to find Hartley. There's Buechler. Jump in the passing lane. Fraschilla over to Buechler. They're going to leave him open.
He is not going to be
Look out,
shy.
here's a run out. Alec Harris. He'll lay it in and tie the game. Harris averaging 11.3 points per game. That's his first 2 of this one, and it ties it at 12 with 3:45 left. 30-second timeout.
This is going to be one of those games, Brian, where some Scott needs to be able to hit an outside shot because they are going to have some open looks. And if someone's just going to have to step up and knock it down, they're really taking away Chase and Clayton Murtha inside, and someone's going to have to hit an outside shot. They're going to have some opportunities.
The Scots hit 2 from beyond the arc in the first quarter. Trey Garrison had a connection, as did Will Miller, hitting his first in his last 3 games. And we mentioned Will didn't hit one against Terrell or Forney. HP can get away with that in those games. Against teams like this, and as we move into next week against Poteet and West Mesquite, he's going to have to be hitting from the outside.
Right. They're going to have to, especially a game like this that's going to be such a grind. I mean, here it is 12-12, and we're in the second period. So, I mean, every basket's going to be huge. And a 3-pointers are almost like a possession and a half if you can knock one down. So, Scots need to play great defense. It looks like
Mitchell Kaufman in for the first time. Number 4, the 6'3" sophomore. He's out there with Murtha, Miller, Fraschilla, Kreitz.
Mitchell should supply a lot of energy at the top of that 1-3-1, too.
The Falcons have never led, but they've been able to force a couple of ties here in the second quarter. Kreitz is wide open in the corner. Tyrell Choice is good 7 feet off the corner players. Fraschilla, there's Kreitz. He'll step into it. Bottom.
Got it. Foot was on the line, just a 2, but still a good shot and a good dish again.
Another assist from Matt Fraschilla. The long 2 by Matthew Kreitz, his first points of the game. Has that scoring average nearly 6.5 per game now.
Got a good trap out of the 1-3-1 again. Mitchell Kaufman supplies a lot of energy at the top of that 1-3-1, and Kreitz with great quickness, and then you got length with Will Miller on the other wing over here. So Scots really execute this well.
Less than 3 minutes remaining in the first half. The Scots clinging to a 14-12 lead as Nugent had it stripped out. Matt Fraschilla is now the team leader in steals coming into this one. He has 37 on the season, had 5 in the win over Forney on Tuesday.
He does a great job on the baseline, even though he's undersized a little bit for that position. He's so quick with his hands. He gets a lot of deflections.
Alec Harris ties the game again. The Scots have been so efficient on offense coming into this one. In the first 12 games of the year, Coach, HP shot 55% or better only 3 times. They've done it 9 times in the last 13, including the last 6. So the Scots have that field goal percentage up over 50% now for the season.
A lot of that you can contribute to a very, very tough non-district schedule too. So Scots are starting to find their groove a little bit.
There's Miller. He was closed off quickly by Woods. Pump it down low. Kaufman down to Chase. That's more like it.
Again, that's kind of playing on the Scots' size advantage that they have with the Falcons inside. If they just feed the ball, they should be able to get fouled or get a basket.
The Falcons don't have a regular taller than 6'3", so that is definitely a matchup the Scots should be able to have their way with in this game.
Should be, and see if we can knock down free throws like they were doing.
Chase has been so good at the line in district, hitting at an 80% clip. From the field in district, Chase Fletcher's a 70% shooter. Got them both this time.
Good.
Has 6 of the Scots' 8 points here in the second.
They're sticking with the 1-3-1. I like it.
HP's lead is 2, 16-14, exactly 2 minutes left in the first half.
Oh.
That's a bailout call right there as Woods
Oh, you hate to see that.
just tried to step through a double team.
You got him trapped, and you hate to see that. Almost where you could flop a little bit and get a call with the charge with these stepping through.
I don't like the word flop, Coach. Maybe
Sorry.
embellish.
Embellish the call, yes, absolutely.
Play up.
There you go.
Scott's defense forces the turnover. They'll have the ball with a chance to extend their lead as the clock is still rolling for some reason. It's down to 1:40. It's down, there it stops. About 4 or 5 seconds ran off the clock. Hometown scorekeeper likes the fact that late in the first half they're only down 2.
I think he fixed it.
There we go. He heard us.
He heard us talking about him. Fell asleep at the wheel. I hate that.
Free throw shooters hear us. I don't see why the scorekeeper can't. I've been corrected by our fearless producer, Kelly Snowden, that the he is a she. She got it fixed.
Oh, okay. And she fell asleep at the wheel. Let's get this right.
1:30 left. Scott's by 2, but the Falcons have the ball back. Scott's with 5 team fouls. North Forney with 4. Matt Fraschilla thought he'd drawn a charge.
Get a turnover out of it.
The Falcons give it to the Scots on a Tyrell Choice travel.
You know, you play a pressure defense like the 1-3-1, you're trying to just force a team out of their comfort zone and get a trap are great, but the turnovers also happen because they're not used to playing with a double team, and you're going to make them make the pass they're not used to making.
Scott's tried to get that backdoor cut on the baseline going, but nothing doing this time.
Not quite enough room for Will to come out of there.
Fraschilla hesitated, forced the issue, and earns a trip to the line.
Matt's going to have to shoot the ball with the way they're playing tonight. He's going to have to score. They're backing off and making him shoot it instead of pass it, which he does better than anybody in the area.
Well, Matt didn't attempt a single field goal against Forney. Just the second time this year he's done that. Just the second time this year he hasn't scored in a game. But he hits his first.
We know from Newman Smith he can knock down free throws, so this is good. This is playing to his game right
Leading into that game, Fraschilla had only attempted 29 free throws all year. Then he shot 14 in the fourth against Newman Smith and drained 13 of them.
Yeah, that's great. Had a great 15-point game, and that was a huge win for the Scots.
Scots have made their last 4 free throws. That's their lead, 18-14 with just under a minute left. Alec Harris got a good look but couldn't hit it. Rebound by the sophomore, Mitchell Kaufman. Fraschilla looks like he wants to push the issue. Kick it to the corner. Catch and release 3. Missed it to the right. There's your sophomore, Mitchell Kaufman. Hustle play. Had it stripped out. Looked like he might have been fouled. No call. Choice over to the baseline. Bowling over Fraschilla. He gets this call.
Good position by Matt Fraschilla on the baseline. Again, he looked like he got that call a couple of possessions ago, and this time he did get it.
6th foul against the Falcons, so the Scots will shoot the penalty here in the waning moments of the first half. Only 33 seconds left. Scots lead at 18-14. Such a crucial game for both teams. The Scots, with aspirations of winning a second consecutive District 10 4A championship, cannot afford a loss here. Miller rises for the long 2 off the back iron. Another rebound for Michael Jr. Woods. He has to have at least 5 or 6 rebounds in the first half.
Kreitz with a nice steal.
Kreitz steals it, throws it back behind his back to Kaufman. Kreitz gets it back from Kaufman over to Miller. Miller with 2. Matt, good if it goes. Tight one here in Forney. This brand spanking new campus has hosted a good one. We're at halftime, and the Highland Park Scots lead the North Forney Falcons 18-14. It's time once again for the Texas Capital Bank HP Scots one-on-one. We were pleased to be joined before this one by sophomore Campbell Brooks.
I'll be curious what Campbell had to say.
Welcome to the Texas Capital Bank HP Scots one-on-one. I'm pleased to be joined tonight by sophomore Campbell Brooks. Campbell, thanks very much for taking some time to talk with us. You started this basketball season on the JV. Then midway through the season, you were called up. Talk a little bit about how exciting that's been for you and if that's something you expected heading into this year.
It was pretty exciting. I never expected it. I just played hard on the JV and worked hard in practice, and he called me up.
Most guys, especially, sometimes you'll see guys that'll get called up onto the varsity at the end of the JV season as you get into the playoffs for, get guys good experience to see what it is to go through a playoff run. You came in much earlier in the season. Frequently that means the coaching staff thinks you're going to bring something to the team that it needs. What do you think you've injected into this squad, and what is your role on this team?
I think I inject a lot of energy and maybe a little bit of defense and aggressiveness on offense, and that's probably what they put me up for.
Now, Evan Buechler came up a few games after you. How much easier has it made the adjustment to moving to varsity to have another guy that's going through the same thing?
It made it a little bit easier because I knew someone on the team, and I mean I knew some of these guys before, but now it's just a little easier because we all kind of there's 2 new guys, so I don't get all the picking. I don't get picked on just me. So yeah.
The team is certainly moving in the right track over the last 10 or 12 games. Talk a little bit about the level of improvement on this team and what needs to continue as we get into the second half of district play.
I feel like every game we get better. We seem to gel better every game and just keep rebound. We need every game we out-rebound a team, we usually win. So we just need to keep on working on that.
Campbell Brooks, a sophomore on the varsity. I have a feeling we'll be talking to you a few more times in the coming years. Congratulations on your success this season, and good luck the rest of the way. That's sophomore Campbell Brooks. Thanks for joining us on this edition of the Texas Capital Bank HP Scots One-on-One. It's halftime here from North Forney. When we come back, we'll have the third quarter of play. You're watching Highland Park Scots varsity basketball.
This presentation is brought to you by HPTV. If you or someone you know would like to sponsor this unique TV station, please email Mrs. Kelly Snowder at snowdeck@hpasd.org. And from all of us here at HPTV, we thank you for watching.
We're rocking these sweet threads up here in the press box to let you know that HP Basketball's annual Hoops and Hot Sauce Dinner and Auction is coming up Friday, February 1st. For more information on tickets, underwriting, and auction donations, email them at hoopsandhotsauce@gmail.com. Just bid it. It's going to be an amazing event. There's going to be wonderful items to bid upon. All of it goes to benefit the Highland Park Scots varsity basketball team. Be sure you're there. There's going to be a pretty big basketball game going on as well, as the Scotties will welcome the Newman Smith Trojans that night. February 1st, 2 weeks from tonight. You better be there. It's time now for tonight's edition of Halftime Trivia here at the campus of North Forney High School. The Scots shot 61.4% at the free throw line in non-district play. What is their district percentage? As Coach David Clark rejoins us. And Coach, this has been pretty emblematic of the Scots' improvement here. You probably haven't even seen this statistic, so I'm going to let you take a shot at it here.
Well, I know I'm glad to see all 4 of those choices are improving from 61.4%, so that's good. I was going to guess C. When in doubt, say C.
Bam. Bam! 74.8%. That's a little more like it. This was a squad that shot nearly 70% from the field for the entire season last year. The 2 big differences between last year and this, when you look statistically, have been three-point shooting and free throw shooting. And as we've gotten into districts, certainly both of those numbers are on the rise, and that's why the Scots are sitting here with a 4-2 district record, winners of 4 straight. So we're getting set to go here in the third quarter. Brian Sutcliffe here with Coach David Clark. Glad you're with us. Way out here east on I-80 in North Forney, a very, very new campus. They sort of built the school here and are going to let the development come around it because there is not much around here.
If you build it, they will come, and there's definitely some territory that they could start building some houses, and I'm sure they're planning for major growth. This is a nice area. This is a beautiful school, Brian. I mean, they have a nice we played the freshman football out there on the field, and they got a nice field turf, and it's a great school.
The leading scorer for the Scots in the first half was Chase Fletcher. He had 8. Matt Fraschilla had 2. Trey Garrison with a 3. Matthew Kreitz with 2. Will Miller with a 3 ball as well, as North Forney has the ball in the first possession, moving from right to left here in the second quarter. You've got number 4, Mitchell Kaufman out there at the top of the 1-3-1. Number 20, Will Miller. Number 2, Chase Fletcher. Number 10, Matthew Kreitz. And number 3, Matt Fraschilla. Over to Harris. He has to kick it out. They'll rotate it over for Michael Jr. Scott, who hits the 3. Michael Jr. Woods.
They obviously drew up some things that they wanted to attack with the 1-3-1. The Scots come right out of the half with it, and Falcons hit a 3. Nice play, nice ball rotation.
I must have watched an episode of The Office or something recently for Michael Scott. And we're gonna blame it on that. Scots lead it by 1, 18-17. That's the second 3-pointer of the game made by North Forney. A little good post entry Frischel had a nice pass to Chase Fletcher, couldn't hit the shot. North Forney has the ball with a chance at their first lead of the game. These teams had a really hard time getting going in the first quarter, going more than halfway through the first before either team scratched. Hartley Nugent touch pass to Harris. He cannot give the North Forney Falcons their first advantage. Mitchell Kaufman had the entire Highland Park fan base warning him that he had Hunter Hartley at his back.
Everybody yelling wolf. Kind of the universal call for there's somebody sneaking up behind you.
Chase Fletcher thought that Michael Woods was the last to touch that ball, but the baseline official did not agree. And with 6:29 left, the Falcons once again with a chance at their first advantage.
Get into these grinder games, and just every possession is so very important. I mean, you never know which one you're going to get 2 or 3 good possessions together, and a 6 or 8 point lead in these games are huge when it's such a grind like this.
Woods to the cutting Hartley. He misses his chance for the lead. This game, Coach, has a strange dynamic. You watch it, and it seems pretty clear that the Scots look like the better team out here, but you look up at the scoreboard, and they're only up a point.
Right, you're exactly right. A little bit hard to figure sometimes. Nice offensive board by Derek.
Had his shot blocked by Nugent.
Just real athletic under the bucket for the Falcons. Been a lot of contested inside shots by the Scots, more than they've seen maybe all year long.
Kahn will take that shot, and he'll hit it.
Nobody was there for that one. That's a great shot. That's what they need from Derek right now. He's going to play the top of the 1-3-1 now. Plays a little offense.
Scots are finding that range. They started locking it in the second quarter and have carried it over into the third. They lead it by 4, 21-17. Hartley tries to respond. Another near rebound for Woods, but he lost it out of bounds. Number 5, Trey Garrison back into the game for the Falcons. It's number 42, Jabari O'Toole. Garrison, Miller, Kahn, Fletcher, and Frischilla on the floor.
Like Derek's got another look.
Steps
right
into
there.
it again. Rebound, Chase had it stripped out from behind. On the baseline, the shot was missed by Will Mill. Offside board. Kahn spins baseline. He had his shot blocked by O'Toole, and finally Tyrell Choice comes down with it. Scots lead it by 4, 4:37 left in the third.
And those contested inside shots have been just tremendous athleticism by the Falcons. They've really contested every inside play.
Woods backs off. Invites the pressure at the top of that 1-3-1.
Nice little slip inside. They did a good job against the 1-3-1 that time.
Timeout on the floor with 4:16 left in the third. The Scots lead North Forney 21-19. I'm Brian Sutcliffe here with Coach David Clark. Coach Clark's JV won another one, still unbeaten in district.
So far, so good. First round, go 7-0, and it's a good start. I've got good kids. It's been a fun group to work with. What's left of them.
Unbeaten last year in district, correct?
And the year before.
Okay. Well, I would. That's why I'm asking. So, it's been a while since the JV has lost a game.
It lost a district game. That's
district
for sure.
Game,
We haven't lost to another 4A team in a long time. And again, it just means that future Scots are going to be pretty good, and it's a good program. It's not just good teams from time to time. It's a good program. Our freshmen are good. Our JV guys are good. So it speaks well for Scots basketball in the future.
Derek was going to fire that up. Nice take off the glass. Blocking foul against Roy Nugent.
There again, they're inviting Frischella to take some shots and even playing off Kahn a little bit, and really emphasizing the inside game, really taking away the Scots' inside game.
Trey Garrison, an 83% free throw shooter. He'll shoot the first of 2.
stating the obvious, as the game winds down, free throws are going to be crucial. Scots need to make sure they're hitting that high percentage that they've been doing.
The Scots have now hit 6 in a row after missing their first. 6 for 7 in the game.
Now they go a little man-to-man look.
Woods for 3. No, sir. Fraschilla. Garrison says, you're going to give it to me, I'm going to take it. Hits his second of the game, he's got 8. The Scots lead it by 7, 26-19.
That's a big shot. Fraschilla finding Trey over there, and he knocks it down. That's a big basket.
3:18 left. This has been a very rapidly moving game. We haven't had many free throws, haven't had many fouls. Didn't have a lot of scoring in the first quarter. The Scots led after one, 8-5.
Coming out of that 1-3-1 with this last 2 possessions, Scots have shown man. Again, the Falcons have to adjust and have to understand the defensive change.
Woods finally puts it on the floor, finds a trailing Nugent. Had to pick up the dribble. Back out to Nugent. He'll take it, step into the 3 and hit.
That's a good shot. He had Will Miller closing out hard.
Nugent averaging 14.4 points per game, and he's heating up. He didn't score in the first 8 minutes. Fletcher with a great move to the cup
nice,
and scoring.
Nice finish. Thought it might roll out of there. Nice cutter to the basket, and Trey found him.
Another double-digit game for Chase Fletcher. Absolutely magnificent. You can go ahead and write his name on the first-team all-district list.
He's been great. Oh.
Nearly got a steal. 6-point lead for the Scots. Hartley.
Matt thought he was in position to draw the charge then. Looked pretty close.
Armani Watts back into the game. We haven't seen him much for a guy that scores only 13 points per game. Ninth consecutive double-digit scoring game for Chase Fletcher. Nugent tries it again. That one is short.
Good contest again by Derek on the outside. Derek Kahn and closed out and blocked out and got a rebound. Give Trey another look here.
Kahn will take it. Chase fights for the rebound, throws it off Michael Woods.
Hopefully that didn't hit him.
I think it did.
In the bad spot.
I think it did. Ouch. Certainly hope he's okay.
Chase trying to save the ball, just one of those things that just happens in a basketball game.
And you
sometimes.
certainly no malicious intent.
Absolutely. Absolutely not.
You normally throw it low, right, so the player doesn't have an opportunity to catch it.
You don't want them to catch it. You want to bounce it off their leg.
Usually you're trying to throw it off their shins. The clock is stopped with 1:33 left as Mr. Woods gets some attention. Had 6 points in the game, but a boatload of rebounds. He was first team 13 3A all-district last year, along with Alec Harris. This was a good North Forney team last year. They advanced to the playoffs for the first time ever after winning District 13 3A last year. It was the first playoff win in the history of this program that's only been playing varsity basketball for a couple of seasons.
Right, I was talking to the coach before the game. This is the 4th year of this high school, so this first senior class coming through. And, again, it's a beautiful place, and it's exciting. I mean, the Falcons are excited about their athletic programs here. So they're going to be a tough team to play in the future. Scott's had a chance to kind of design something. Coach Peeler had a chance to talk to him about this inbound play. We'll see what they come up with.
Fraschilla triggers to Garrison. Will Mill takes it to the baseline. Can't hit the little 15-footer. There's a shove called against the Scots. That's just the 3rd foul whistled against both teams combined in the second half.
Had a little set play off of that, and Will Mill couldn't quite knock it down.
Buechler and Murtha back into the game. .117 left, third quarter. Scots by 6. Clayton hedging hard off that screen. And then gets the steal.
Good job by Clayton, kind of anticipating that a little bit. And this is one of those games that one team gets a little spurt, they're going to be hard to beat.
.49 seconds to go. The Scots with a 6-point lead. Fraschilla directs Garrison to the left. Left that shot a little bit short. Roy Nugent with the rebound. Here comes Tyrell Choice. Running the point for Andy Curtis's North Forney Falcons, 16-5 this year, tied with the Scots at 4-2 in league play. Trey Garrison just picked up a foul.
A little too much hand check there by Trey.
Third against the Scots. North Forney with only one foul whistled in the second half. 29.3 seconds left. Choice quickly pumps it back to Harris. Nugent fires it up again, missed that one. O'Toole using some contact, and they'll say it was last touch by the Scots.
Looked like Clayton objected too much, but boy, it sure looked like the.
I don't know that it's Clayton's nature to object too much.
Probably not. Pretty soft-spoken kid. Gonna get a look right here.
Freed up Watts, straight on three, just how they drew it up. Cuts the lead in half, 28-25 with 13 seconds left. They had a wall of three guys freeing Watts up at the top of the arc.
They'll throw over the top to get the three.
Fraschilla to Buechler, moonshot. Back iron. Back out, he'll throw it up, it won't count. Nearly hit it anyway. The Scots led by 4 after 2. They lead by 3 after 3. A very nip and tuck affair. Neither team has, well, I say neither team has led by more than single digits. North Forney hasn't led in the game, but the Scots haven't been able to push that lead up more to about 7 or 8. And we'll let you know that at Texas Capital Bank, we're driven by an unwavering mission to serve Texas businesses and the entrepreneurs and families who run them. Since our beginning in 1998, we've grown into one of the state's largest independent banks with offices in Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, Houston, and San Antonio. Texas Capital Bank is proud to support the Highland Park Scots and wishes the team great success this season. Scots leading by 3, and Coach North Forney's let the Scots have that outside shot. HP starting to hit it with a little better frequency after the first quarter where they really struggled from outside. But North Forney just keeps punching back.
It's just one of those games, Brian. It's just such a grind, and you just got to play great defense. You know, we always talk about your defense has got to come every night, and your offense will catch up. And this is one of those games that Scots have just got to keep defensively rebounding, contesting every shot, and try to somehow get a basket so somebody to knock down some shots here.
The Scots are 15-3 when leading after 3 quarters of play. It'll be number 13, Ben Livingston, the 6'1 senior, number 13 in the game for the first time. Number 15, Evan Buechler. Number 3, Matt Fraschilla. Number 52, Clayton Murtha. Number 2, Chase Fletcher. I don't think Chase has come out of this game yet.
Been working hard. Oh, got Fraschilla for a travel. Again, trying to run a set play off the quarter break for Chase down low on the block. Got kind of a clear out for him. Didn't quite work.
Armani Watts, who hit a big three-pointer to cut the Scots lead in half. Fraschilla stripped O'Toole. Possession arrow on the jump ball points to the Falcons. 7:39 remaining. My name is Brian Sutcliffe. To my right, Coach David Clark. A superb team has made the trek down Highway 80 to bring you this one live and in color. We're 30 seconds in. The Scots have a 3-point lead. Watts will take the long 2. Rebound left of the lane for Chase Fletcher.
Good job running it down. Again, give them one shot and go rebound, and the Scots will trying to make something happen on the offensive end.
The Scots have been able to use that jab to keep North Forney at bay. The Falcons have never led. But the Scots have not come close to running away with this game at any point.
Not had any chance to put them away and not making any shots to be able to do it.
Livingston, triple. Left that short. Buechler once again in the play. They bounce it on the baseline. Ben Livingston, he comes in firing. Leading into that shot, he'd hit his last 4 three-pointers attempted and was 7 for his last 9 overall. So you like that you've got a guy, especially here, that you can bring in. The game's been going for 3 quarters. You bring him in immediately. He's not afraid to crank it up.
Feels confident in his shot enough to do that, and that's great. Sometimes that's what Scots need here is somebody that's willing to take the shot.
Matt Fraschilla called for using too much body. 4th team foul against Highland Park. Still only 1 against North Forney. Choice finds Nugent. Missed it to the left. Clayton Murtha. That's a man's rebound right there.
That is a rebound. Between 2 Falcons, he comes away with the ball. That's great job by Clayton.
Just continues to get better and better. You gotta love the length of Buechler in that. You could put a guy out on the wing, and he'd just shoot over him. Chase couldn't connect from down low. And
a lot of traffic down there. They really are taking away Chase inside as much as they can.
Watts couldn't tie it. The Scots have got to take advantage of this poor shooting from North Forney.
Gosh.
Fraschilla is
contact.
Smashed. Takes it up, couldn't hit the shot. Alec Harris clears. Choice over to Watts. Pump it down to O'Toole. Fraschilla down on the floor. O'Toole picks it up and calls timeout. With 5:36 left in the 4th, the Scots lead North Forney. Neither team has scored in the 4th. The score remains HP 28, North Forney 25. Next week will be a big week of basketball for David Peeler's squad, Coach Clark, as the Scots will play another road game on Tuesday. They'll head out to Mesquite to take on the Poteet Pirates, and I can imagine the Scots are looking forward a little bit to that one after Poteet beat the Scots 47-40 on their own floor. And then West Mesquite, 1 week for tonight, will come to the Highlander Fieldhouse, and that week may decide whether or not the Scots are able to defend their district championship. A loss in either one of those games with Newman Smith still to come may be a little bit too much to handle.
Right, Brian, you mentioned we got off to an 0-2 start, so those are 2 losses that they need to avenge a little bit. And Scots are excited. I know they want to get this one in the book. And again, this was a grind, and Coach Peeler knew this was going to be a grinding kind of game. So Scots need to make sure they take care of some business here in this last 5 minutes, and then we can worry about next week. But this is a game that Scots need right here, and try to finish that. Poteet is going to be a huge game, and of course West Mesquite is one of the district favorites. So it is a big week next week, and I'm sure the Scots will be ready. They just need somebody to step up right now here in the last 5 minutes to take this game over for the Scots.
The Scots registered a new season high in points scored with 76 against Forney on Tuesday. With 5:36 left in the 4th tonight, they have 28.
Points have been at a premium tonight, that's for sure.
Certainly a lot of taking a step up in quality of opponent as well.
Yes, that's true. And again, Scots, neither team's really shot the ball very well, and that you can credit some of that to defense and some of that just the shots aren't going in. Maybe it's the new rims. They're not old enough.
Alec Harris makes it a 1-point game.
He didn't worry about the rims then, went right through.
Harris with 6. He's got 2 double-doubles of his own this year. Scored 25 in a game against White House, a team that the Scots also faced. Both of these teams handled White House pretty easily. It's a 1-point lead for Highland Park, 28-27, under 5 minutes to go. Working on the left side of that defense. Chase Fletcher has 3 defenders collapse down on him, and North Forney's the last to touch it as it goes over the baseline.
Well, that was a perfect example of what North Forney's trying to stop right there. That Chase got the ball in the block, and all 4 guys were within arm's reach of Chase, and 1 guy was sitting on the perimeter. So sometimes you may have to kick that out of there, and somebody knock down a shot just like that.
Kreitz finds space. A little too hefty on that shot. North Forney has not led in the game. Michael Woods back into the game after being the unfortunate recipient of a inbound saver in a rather sensitive spot. We're glad he's back in. Derek Kahn, that ball was halfway in.
Oh, it's like it has a lid on it. Again, good look, and Derek's right there at the elbow and just can't knock it down.
Defense. 28-27, Scots by 1 with 4:12 remaining in regulation. Armani Watts puts it on the floor, lowers his shoulder, and draws a foul.
It's going to be interesting. Scots, that was their 5th foul to just 1 for the Falcons. So if this turns into a 1-and-1 free throw contest, this could be a Falcon advantage right now in the 4th quarter.
Kreitz out, Will Miller in. Miller draws the baseline defense assignment.
Scott's staying man on this inbound. Up.
Chase wisely decided not to sell out on that attempt to steal. He was afraid he wasn't going to be able to get into defensive position. Woods draws contact, and he goes to the line with a chance to give North Forney their first lead of the game. With 3:51 left, Scots lead at 28-27. 6th team foul against Highland Park.
Just 1 for the Falcons, so again, that could be a factor.
We're tied.
They're knocking down free throws too, so a big advantage down the stretch here for the Falcons.
And North Forney has taken the lead for the first time in the basketball game. And North Forney is a perfect 7 for 7 at the line.
It's been the difference in the game, really. I mean, I know it's a 1-point game, but they've knocked down some shots, had 3, one of them fouled a 3-point shooter.
Will Mill for the Scots lead. Yes, sir!
It rolled around, didn't want to go in, and finally just had to go in. Scots needed that one. That's good. Will Miller, senior, stepping up and knocking down a big shot.
Gives the Scots a 2-point lead, 31-29 with 3:32 left. Timeout on the floor. You know, this is a North Forney squad coach that has jumped out to a 16-5 record, and they really haven't had too much problem in those 16 wins. They only have 5 victories by fewer than 10 points. So a very good squad here for Andy Curtis in their first season in the 4A classification. And you hear a lot of coaches say that the toughest jump to make is from 3A to 4A. Well, North Forney's doing a pretty good job so far.
They really have, and although I will say that if you look at their season record, a lot of it's maybe a little bit deceiving. They're playing a lot of some of their old 3A opponents there in the non-district. So it's a little bit.
You schedule games
years
you schedule
in advance,
games,
right? Yeah, you really do. So you don't know really, especially what your classification is going to be. And they knew that they would probably bump up, but they weren't, totally sure. Non-district stuff you usually schedule on a 2-year basis. So they've got a good program. There's no doubt about it. Their football program's on the way up, and the basketball program is likewise following. So. This is a good program, good school right now that the Scots are playing. This is a great game, boy. It's if you like them close, this thing's been close the whole way, and not much breathing room for either team at any time. So this big 3 minutes, obviously, for anybody that wants to win a district championship. This is kind of right there on the line for you.
Miller, Fraschilla, Kahn, Fletcher, and Livingston on the floor for David Peters Highland Park Scots as we roll under 3.5 minutes remaining. I'm Brian Sutcliffe with Coach David Clark here at North Forney High School. Tyrell Choice over to Woods for 3, no. Nugent threw it out to Fraschilla, who is cold cocked near midcourt. Good sportsmanship by Tyrell Choice, certainly no harm intended.
That's a good foul by Choice because
that was
Scots
a run out.
Had a run out with Will Miller all by himself running down the middle of the court.
That was a dunk.
That was going to put on a show and maybe give the spark that Scots needed right there.
Just the second team foul against North Forney with 3:10 remaining. Scots with the ball and a 2-point lead, 31-29.
Even though Scots have struggled on offense, you got to know right now that the clock's your friend, so you want to take care of the ball as much as possible. Run some clock every time you get a possession and be sure with it.
Fraschilla, great take. He's fouled.
He's going to have the opportunity to do that. They're backing off, and he just blew right by nearest defender and has a chance to convert at the free throw line.
Fraschilla does a great job of that rope-a-dope out on the perimeter. He'll, a little bit like Julio Franco used to play for the Rangers, where he would come and he would take the first pitch, and he didn't look interested at all in swinging at it, to where he would fool the opposing pitcher into grooving him a fastball on his third at bat, and then he'd crank it off the left field wall. Fraschilla inviting that space. Puts the Scots up by 3.
Time to make a good defensive stop right here. This is a big possession right here for both teams.
Watts.
Boy, good defense by Ben. I think they're going to get
Travel
travel out of it.
I thought maybe they were going to call a jump. It looked like maybe Ben had gotten his hand on the ball.
Good defense by Ben Livingston. He real on-the-ball defense, got right in his face and forced that travel call.
Scots with a 3-point lead can make it a 2-possession advantage on this look with the ball as we hit the 2.5-minute remaining mark.
Falcons show a little 1-2-2 3-quarter court. This is their pressure defense that they of choice here for them. Scots need to be deliberate what they're doing.
And the defense forces a turnover.
Boy,
the miscommunication there on where Kahn was going to be.
Kahn and Miller were a little confused on who was supposed to play the wing over there. Costly turnover there. Scots needed to convert that.
2:10 left. Scots by 3, 32-29. The Scots parents getting some foot stomp defense chants going. Really nice contingent of HP faithful have made the trip. Down Highway 80.
Going to get Ben a little bit too much body contact on the drive to the basket. Should be a 1-and-1.
That it will be. Foul's on the floor, but it puts the Scots over the limit. 1:52 left, HP by 3, 32-29. It puts Armani Watts at the free throw line. He has not attempted a free throw in the game. He is a 69% free throw shooter. Watts with just 4 points in the game. Got them both.
Have they missed a free throw tonight?
No, sir.
I didn't think so.
They're 9 for 9.
9 for 9. That's how you win close games. This could be a major factor here.
When they're only a 62% free throw shooting team. Miller on the dish from Fletcher. The Scots lead by 3.
Nice attacking the pressure defense, and that was a good job of Chase finding Will Miller right down the middle of the floor for a nice layup and a big basket for the Scots.
And Coach David Peeler wants a 30-second timeout to set his defense up. Under 2 minutes remaining, the Scots lead by 3, 34-31. Looking to move to 5-2 to close out the first half of district play. They'll get it going on the second soiree through the league schedule, starting next Tuesday when the Scots travel to Mesquite to take on the Poteet Pirates. That'll be a 7 o'clock tip. We'll have that one for you. I know the Mesquite radio guys will also be in town, so it'll be one of the higher profile games in the area perhaps on Tuesday.
See if the Scots come with a little 1-3-1 look, just so that it kind of makes the Falcons use a clock a little bit. Now it looks like they're going to be in the man.
1:42 left in regulation as we reset. Scots lead by 3, 34-31. Scots over the limit. They have 17 fouls, plenty to give for North Forney. They have only 3 in the second half.
That will invite them to really play some aggressive defense because they know that they don't have to worry about shooting free throws for the Scots. So when they play a defense, they're going to really get after the ball.
Here's Harris. Out to Nugent, closed out quickly by Kahn. Now it's Choice on the left side. 1:17 left. Back to Nugent for the tie. No. Rebound. Harris pulls it down, takes it up. Wave off the shot. But it's Harris to the line.
2 shots. And I thought they were going to call it on the floor, really, but they got him for the 2-shot foul.
8th team foul against Highland Park. Alec Harris has 6 points in the game. He's a 62% free throw shooter. Got the first.
See if I can jinx them. They haven't missed a free throw tonight.
They haven't. They are 10 for 10. Just in case you didn't hear Coach Clark mention it, They are 10 for 10 at the line. Every attempt they have made has gone in. This works like clockwork when Highland Park is shooting.
That's right.
It is an absolute, you could set your watch by it.
Let's see if it works here.
2-point lead.
You got to expect the 1-2-2 pressure too. If make or miss, it's going to be coming right at you.
Harris with 8. They're now 11 for 11.
Here's that pressure. 3/4 court, 1-2-2.
1 point Scots lead. Frischilla handles it this time. Back out to Miller. I think that pass was intended for Livingston.
I think it was, and
Livingston wants a timeout. Wise, don't force it. 55.6 left. The Scots have a 1-point lead, 34 to 33. I got to admit, Coach, I didn't see a game being played in the 30s. I thought this one would be up 50s into the 60s. The Scots have been playing better on offense. North Forney, a team that can get up and down as well, like to take a lot of shots, can hit some threes. Not at a high percentage, but just out of sheer volume. They throw some numbers up on the scoreboard, but here we are. These teams have 67 points combined.
Right, and I would hate to even think about what each team's shooting percentage is tonight, but it can't be very good because they have not, neither team has shot the ball very well. And you can credit some of that to great defense on both sides, but I think both coaches will tell you, boy, next time we're going to shoot the ball better and things will come out. We'll be back up there in the 50s and 60s where this game probably should have been if both teams were shooting a decent percentage.
And you don't want to overstate the final 50-plus seconds of this game, Coach, but as we've talked about through this broadcast, one of these teams after tonight, assuming that West Mesquite and Newman Smith win tonight, they're going to be 2 games back, and one of these teams is going to have an advantage over the other. So already HP has got to go even the season series against West Mesquite and Poteet. For North Forney, they lost to Smith and West Mesquite. So you don't want to have 3 teams you certainly have to beat to have any chance of winning the district. But the road will be long and hard for the loser of this one.
You know, when you lose head-to-head, it's almost like a game and a half behind. It's not just a game. And Scots are trying to make up some of that tomorrow, next week. But right now, they need to take care of business, try to work something out, run the clock. Let's see if they should be real aggressive because they have fouls to give.
There's Livingston with 40 seconds.
They're going to use clock.
Nugent wraps him up. That's just the 4th foul against North Forney, so we're a ways to go before the Scots are shooting.
They got to be real careful not to make it look like an intentional, because regardless of the number of fouls you have, the referees rule that an intentional, you're going to shoot and get the ball back. I think they let a lot of time run off the clock.
About 18 seconds they ran off the clock there.
That's a lot. They've still got 2 fouls to give before the Scots are shooting, so they still got some work to do, and we'll see. Had an opportunity there, fouling Livingston again. That was a little better, a little quicker.
Well, I think Coach Curtis is smart enough to know that the Scots will be very content to win this game 34 to 33 if North Forney lets them run the clock out.
Absolutely.
So they're going to have to put the Scots at the line.
They're going to foul again, I'm sure. Boy,
I'm not sure Hartley intended to foul.
I don't think he did either.
Credit Livingston for inviting the contact. And you wonder, when you commit 2 fouls intentionally very quickly, you send a message to the officials that I'm trying to foul.
Right. There's no doubt, and that was a little bit of an anticipation on the part of the official there. But now the next foul the Scots will be shooting, so it's real important on who's going to catch that inbound pass if they choose to foul right away. I really don't think, with no shot clock or anything, they cannot afford to wait and let the Scots run some offense, because you may get a shooting foul. You may get, I think with that strategy that they just showed, they're going to try to foul right away and make the Scots earn it at the line.
It's Miller, Livingston, Kahn, Fletcher, and Frischilla on the floor for the Scots.
We'll see who Coach Peeler wants at that free throw line, because they probably, if they do what they've been doing, then it'll be Livingston again. But looks like Chase is going deep, and they're got to get something in here. There
it's into Livingston, and it's Livingston that's fouled.
Ben's a good free throw shooter and clutch senior.
31.2 seconds left. The Scots are 7 for 9 at the line, but Ben Livingston is going to shoot his first of the game, and it's just a 1-and-1. That's the 7th team foul. Yeah,
now both teams will be in the bonus, so it's no advantage now. The Falcons had to use all those fouls right in a row.
As the Livingstons explode in front of us.
Staying calm, staying calm.
Ben's first point of the game is a big one. It makes it a 2-point lead.
And this second one's huge.
That's clutch.
Rattled it home. Good.
That says a lot about a guy that he can come in, hasn't played at all in the first half, gets lots of run in the fourth, playing great defense, hits 2 clutch free throws. Scots lead by 3. Harris, tough take, lays it in. He's got 10 points. Less than 20 seconds left. Scots by 1. Fraschilla is fouled.
Gonna let Matt go earn him at the line now.
Not unfamiliar territory for the senior captain. Shot 14 free throws in the fourth against Newman Smith, hit 13 of them. It's a 1-point game. He can make it 3 if he pots both. It's the 1-and-1. Both teams now with 18 fouls. Got it.
Good.
The Harvard man smartly knocks down both.
You know, a couple of seniors stepping up at the line and knocking down 4 straight free throws. That's in the last 30 seconds. That's a big, big play for the Scots.
HP now 11 for 13 at the line. Timeout on the floor. In the waning moments of regulation, the Scots lead it by 3, 38-35.
This is another situation, again, where you just don't want to give up the 3. You got to contest the 3. Last time the Falcons were satisfied to drive the ball to the basket. Scott's got to make sure they don't foul. They're going to have to use another timeout, or the clock may run out before they even have to inbound the ball. So a lot of things going on now. Right now, it's going to start with just contesting the 3. You don't want to give up the tie at this time, and go get the rebound. Go get the rebound and expect lots of traffic to get fouled.
I think you can expect the Roy Nugent or Armani Watts to be the guy that's the target for a potential game-tying shot coming into this game. Armani Watts had 32 three-pointers made. Not bad for a dude coming off your bench.
Not at all, and he's got a good-looking shot, so I wouldn't be surprised if they set something up for him to have.
He's a 33% three-point shooter, and Nugent's hit at a 30% rate. He's hit 2 in this game. He's got 10. He's even with Alec Harris for team-high honors in the game. They both have 10 points.
Scots are going to pick up full court. Again, 16 seconds left, and you give up a 2 right now and not worry about a thing. And you want to make sure you contest a 3 and make sure you're not going to give up any open looks at all.
16.3 left. Tyrell Choice will wait to pick it up. Clock goes 15 seconds. 13. Tyrell Choice hands it off to Watts. Watts over for Woods with 9. Woods, they're going to have to go for the 3 now.
Taking a lot of time.
Over for Watts with 3. He'll rise. It's short. The Scots win it. 38-35. Ball game.
Boy, it took a little bit. That was great perimeter defense. Again, Scots defended the arc real well and didn't give an open look, and the Falcons kind of let the clock run down and lost track of what they were trying to do a little bit.
The Scots pick up win number 20 on the season. 20-6. They're now 5-2 in district play. And an absolutely crucial win for the Scots, who are looking for their 2nd consecutive district championship. The North Forney Falcons taste defeat for just the 6th time this year. That snaps their 4-game winning streak. They'd won 6 of 7 coming into this one. But hard luck losers. This feels a lot for North Forney, I think, like the Scots felt after that Richardson game in Plano, where they allowed only 39 points and lost. 38 points for the Scots, the fewest points they've scored in a game all year, tied with that game against Richardson, a game the Scots lost 39-38. Here they win it 38-35, holding North Forney 32, or what do we got here, 27 points under their season average.
Well,
not too shabby.
It wasn't pretty. There's no doubt of it. This will not make the highlight reel for the Scots or for the Falcons for that matter. But it was a win, and that's the important thing. You finish this first round 5-2, winning 5 straight games, and got a chance for a big week next week with 2 big games at Poteet and home against West Mesquite. So it just set those up to be as big as we were hoping they would be, with Scots winning this game on the road.
And Coach, we talk a little bit about Ben Livingston here for a minute. You know, I think his performance here in the fourth quarter is really symbolic of what the Scots stand for, right? It's always be ready to get in, get contributions from everyone. It's a guy that you look at his score line in this game, and you know he's probably going to have maybe a rebound, maybe a steal, and he scored 2 points. But they were the biggest 2 points in this game, as it forced North Forney to have to try a three-pointer at the buzzer to try to tie it, as opposed to maybe getting a 2-point look for the win. Those 2 free throws cinched the deal for the Scots, who win it 38-35. Chase Fletcher had 10 points to lead the way for the Scots. Matt Fraschilla with 5, 3 of those here in the pivotal fourth quarter. Trey Garrison had 8 as Garrison continues to stay hot offensively. Matthew Kreitz with 2. Ben Livingston, as we talked about, Ben with the biggest free throws of the game. Will Miller had 8. Derek Kahn with 3.
You know, Brian, it's so good. It's neat to see, and you're exactly right about Ben coming off the bench and knocking down some free throws. And
Matt Fraschilla had a key, too, down the late, too.
Had 2 free throws. So you're really, in last 30 seconds, the Scots were 4 for 4 from the line, and that's the difference in the game. And those are clutch free throws. You know, you practice and you try to put yourself in that position where you can put a little pressure on yourself in practice. But, you know, it's hard to recreate that. And for those seniors to step up like that and knock them down, those are huge. And, again, great momentum. For the Scots winning 5 in a row and making the turn for the second half.
We talked about those clutch free throws for Ben. This is now the second time for Matt Fraschilla to ice a game at the free throw line. He's done it against Newman Smith on the road, and now he's done it here again on the road against North Forney. 2 key wins that I think we'll be looking back at the end of the season with big red circles as being pivotal to the definition of how this Scots season ends up.
You know, as a point guard, you're going to have the ball in your hand at the end of the game, and you got to be able to make free throws in the fourth quarter.
We have a really great team that made the trip here out Highway 80 to Forney. Our producer and handling some work on the graphic side, Ms. Kelly Snowden. Our director is Drew Allman. Handling the high cam stuff, William Planey. We had Connor Palacios down on the floor. This team does a great job. They work really hard, put in a lot of hours. You sometimes forget, just me being a guy who, you know, goes to work and stuff. These kids are all going to school, you know, so it's not like they're spending all of their time during the day doing this.
Well, I think most of them are, though. That's all they do right now is just do this stuff for Miss Snowden. So I haven't seen Drew actually in a classroom in a long time, but he does a great job.
So we hope you'll join us for the next broadcast of Highland Park Scots varsity basketball, when the Scots will look to try to make it 6 straight in district. When they'll look to avenge their home loss to Mesquite Poteet, the Scots will visit the Pirates next Tuesday. That'll be a 7 o'clock tip. We hope you'll join us for that one. Coach David Clark, great job here. Great win earlier today, and you're 2-0 here tonight.
I love it. I like to go home happy. And
yes, sir.
This is a good win and a real needed win, much needed win.
I'm Brian Sutcliffe. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you in Mesquite next Tuesday. Until then, so long, everybody.
This presentation is brought to you by HPTV. If you or someone you know would like to sponsor this unique TV station, please email Mrs. Kelly Snowden at snowdeck@hpasd.org. And from all of us here at HPTV, we thank you for watching.